Hi everyone, it's KMC. This year we're focusing in on the theory and the theme of keep more cash. It's important that practices understand that not everybody needs to rely on insurance. Patients will pay cash for care. That hybrid style practice is really what we see happening most of the time. As we know, when you are more cash based, you still must deal with Medicare. So there's that little bit of insurance that you have to deal with. But regardless of the type of practice that you run, in the land of keep more cash, we thought we would focus a little bit on this help desk video about how you can keep more cash by keeping more patients. And I've always said that when you are in practice, there's really only a few ways to grow. See more patients, do more services on the patients that you already have, or do a combination of both. So when we're thinking about retention, there are a few key areas that you can focus in on that will make a big difference in keeping more patients. One of the most important things is to know what your patient visit average is, and that is the total number of patients that you've seen over a period of time. Generally, a quarter, 6 months, or a year is the best way to do that, and divide it by that number of new patients that you saw in that same time period. Of course, it's not exact, but it gives you an opportunity to get a sense of about how long your new patients are staying. If you are more of a pain-based practice, that could be quick. If you're more of a wellness practice, you should see that number expand. Now, of course, that doesn't mean all of those visits will be billed to insurance. We know that. But how long is your patient staying a practice member in your practice? One of the other things that is very important to know is when you're scheduling, initially, after an initial episode of care visit happens, why not take care of that advanced multiple scheduling out to the end of that first period of time? I'm shocked and surprised when I hear CAs and doctors say, oh, patients won't schedule, we just schedule visit by visit. That is one of the least efficient and least effective ways that you can manage your schedule. Ideally, we want to get that patient scheduled out until their first reevaluation. Let's call it a month of care. When doing so, it allows us to reserve a spot in the calendar for them, regardless really, to make sure that they're in there somewhere, because of course you'll see if they miss their appointment. If they're not in the calendar, it's easy to have them get lost. So this is the way a conversation could go. Mrs. Jones, I know that you've been here around 10 o'clock for your first two appointments. What I'd love to do, Doc has said that you need to see him 3 times a week for the next 3 weeks. I'd like to reserve the 10 o'clock spot for you Monday, Wednesday, and Friday until that first reevaluation. If for any reason that needs to change, we'll confirm every time before you leave. But this way, you get your preferred time, and we can certainly be flexible. Then we get the second comment that is, well, I have an airline pilot, or I have this person, or whatever it is, who I easily lose track of. So in my reality, everyone is either in the appointment calendar or they are on a list. And sometimes it's that person that says, I don't know, I'm back in 3 weeks. I really am not sure when I can come in. I'll call. That person goes right onto a list with a tickler for 3 weeks. Have I heard from Fred yet? And if not, then I know to reach out to Fred. We also have as the last item, making sure that patients understand their treatment plan. That treatment plan, getting a commitment to that treatment plan on the front end makes a tremendous difference so that they understand why they need to be there. And when you're ready to transfer a patient into maintenance or wellness care, helping them to understand what that looks like. Is it biweekly? Is it monthly? And once again, I love the idea of that advanced multiple scheduling. We're going to talk in another help desk video about that conversation when it's time to go into maintenance care, because I think that's a really, really important conversation so that patients understand why is it changing now and what does that look like. I hope that this year you keep more cash by keeping more patients.